Gamers, thank you very much for joining me. Terry Clancy here. I just want to do an impromptu dev diary where I show off the work I've been doing on the new map generator. As we can see here in front of us, we have the new map generator in its chunk view. This is the high level visual of the map generation. In this example, you are represented by the blue dot, that's where your base is, and the purple dot represents the portal where the enemies come from. As you click on it, very similarly to the current version of the game, the space available to you expands. Additionally, we can modify the number of chunks that each expansion gives the player. We can also make those expansions fork out into other routes in a way that wasn't capable before. Let's see if we can get good RNG here, right? The portal now split into two, right? So now you're gonna have two distinct roads, distinct portals, two distinct roads that are gonna have to join some point in between, right? So now you have two places to defend that are going to feed into your base. At the same time, if you've noticed with the current map generator, it's made up of these predetermined sort of prefabricated chunks. Once you've seen the 25 different variants of them, you can start identifying how the map generator is put together. I wanted to change that out completely. That's not endless enough for me. It's not procedural enough and it's not random enough. So while we're doing this, while we're generating the chunks, below, we're also generating a layer of these nodes that define the actual map, right? I wanted the waters, the cliffs, your base's position, the road, the gems, all to be procedural, all to be building off of each other. The actual formulas as they look right now are a work in progress, but hopefully they'll give you a kind of example for the sort of terrain I'm looking for. Additionally, we can now have your base be under attack from multiple sides. Where in the current version of the map generator, there's one line and they come from in front of you and that's the only route. I've added the ability to have multiple battlefronts all at the same time, all expandable, all with following all these same parameters to just allow more flexibility in the map generator, in the challenges, the campaigns. I want to get a lot of functionality out of this because I have a lot of really big ideas for it. Right? Hopefully the keen-eyed among you have seen something additionally as well, which is that there is a host and a client button. Ideally what that means is that now, in the future, territorial disputes is capable of synchronizing across multiple computers. It's capable of being multiplayer. So here's a more close-up view of the map of the actual generation, right, back in the isometric view that we're expecting. In this example, you get to see the tactical center, the road that's supposed to come out of it, and where the portal is, right, where previously they were always in the middle of each chunk. Now the position of the buildings in the chunk is also procedural, right? Where the portal's gonna be is random, and the road that's gonna connect to it is of course also procedural. It's going to be synchronized across the players, of course, for multiplayer to be compatible. And you're capable of building things on either computer, and it synchronizes with itself. The whole demo I just showed, right, it's all multiplayer compatible, all from the foundation. So, hopefully bringing forward, right, if the map generator, which is the foundation of the game, is multiplayer compatible, I'm hoping to make the whole game multiplayer compatible, of course. There's a lot of decisions that I still need to make about exactly how multiplayer is going to work, joining lobbies and the difficulty and balance and all that. And those are bridges that I'll cross when I get there. But hopefully this is a cool little sneak peek at sort of the broad strokes of what I've been working on with the map generator. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Join me on the Discord. Like always, if you like what you're seeing, wishlist Territorial Disputes on Steam. Hopefully this update will be coming out in months in the future, hopefully by the end of 2023. I'd like to talk more in detail now about the actual nitty-gritty technical stuff of how this is set up. But I also recognize that that's probably not too interesting to too many people. So if you're interested in the nitty-gritty dirty of how game development works, please stick around. If not, thank you so much for joining me. One of the things I wanted to show off that I'm really proud of in the map generator is the foundation of actually making the game, right? Putting grids on a screen and changing the colors is cool, but what I really want to show off is all of the work that is being done in the background, so that when you click and you want to put down a building, all of the systems that are putting in the work behind it are I think the cool part, right? I think that's where the real work for me is at. So if you're familiar with the Unity editor, I'm making scriptable objects. Scriptable objects are basically prefabs or templates of information that get used in the game itself. So in this example here on the right, let me move myself. I am blocking what I want to show. I apologize. So we're going to be looking here at the right hand side of the screen. This is the inspector, and it's where we view the actual information of individual objects, right? This is a debug representation of the gem refinery, the building I constructed earlier in the demo, and I'll construct it again for your visualization. What I wanted to show off is how I'm converting an array of booleans, of true and falses, in a 2D array into an actual usable grid-based foundation. So in the map generator, the building, I wanted to have both the ability to easily define the foundation of a building in a way that is an obtuse foundation, right? Not everything is going to be a perfect square. I want to be able to handle with any size and shape of building that I'm going to come up with in the future. Additionally, I want to add to the structures a dirt underlay. Taken inspiration from Red Alert 1 and Command & Conquer. I believe the dirt underlays on the buildings are a weird trick to allow pathfinding around your base to be more reasonable and to prevent buildings from blocking it. So I have defined here on the right the actual tile requirements for the structure, which you see in gold, and then the dirt underlay that defines where vehicles can still travel, but those nodes are still part of an actual building. So I wanted to show off the tile requirements, right? The dirt underlay, and then this key tile right here, which is how you it's how you find where in the world related to the cursor the building is going to fall under. So I recognize it looks a little funky. My mouse cursor isn't exactly where Unity actually thinks my mouse is. But it's a way of defining under the mouse cursor, the origin of the building falls in this situation under the cell 22, right? Coordinate XZ22. It's a really good way of, you could mathematically figure this out, but I found that just manually defining it helps prevent a lot of edge cases, and sometimes the buildings don't give you an exact mathematical tile of what the center for it is. Additionally, I wanted to show off these add-on slots. I think these add-on slots are really going to change how the game works. I haven't really programmed them into the map generator yet, but currently we have refinery boosters, power boosters, the structure whose purpose is to make the base structure more powerful, right? Hopefully the sum of its parts, the refinery plus this refinery booster, give you more value than individually the two structures or just two refineries, right? Right now in the node-based system, the structure is just placed adjacent to it, meaning that this refinery booster also consumes a whole node. And is in no way, it expands the structure purely by being adjacent to it. I don't like that. I want something a little bit more in depth. So now I've rewritten the add-on system. Structures have the ability to have add-on slots over here on the right. For this refinery, for example, I've defined that it has an add-on slot in under the primary category, that's just an arbitrary definer, at cell 3-3, right? So that would be right here, if on the map. On cell 3-3, we're saying that this structure, by definition, has a slot for an add-on in this cell. We've defined it already in the building, which means that then we can go to something like this gem speed up booster, right? Very well named. And we can define it as an add-on. And we can tell it, hey, this refinery booster, you're an add-on and you're actually compatible with structure ID 201, which is the structure ID of the gem refinery. Tells you exactly, just like where the refinery saying it's accepted, it's saying, hey, on the refinery, this is where you will fit in if you're accepted. And additionally, it allows digits for conflicts. Again, sorry, I know it's tough to see here, but it's saying it has a conflict with a different ID number, right? This is to prevent in the future if I don't want an add-on, a speed booster and a value booster on the same refinery, even if it has multiple slots. I can conflict it. I can say, hey, we can't have both of these buildings in at the same time. Additionally, I've added this feature called vehicle interaction points, which hopefully you can deduce what it means, right? Just for like the refinery, it is a definition of what coordinate in a structure has value for other things, right? In this example, I've defined 1-4, which falls right here, as the vehicle interaction point for the excavators, right? So the excavator knows that building 201, if they're trying to pass find to it or from it, it will be at this point here, right? As I start putting the permatone gems on the map, I'm gonna have to have the excavators pass find back and forth from it and know where they need to go. So, right, it's for the gem refinery, but it'll work for vehicle depots, repair depots, anything that interacts with a vehicle, right? Naval yards, stuff like that. And yeah, that's the majority of what I wanted to show off. The foundation of the systems I'm making to help me make the game easier, right? At this point, the game development is almost a data organization question more than anything. And I just want to show off my progress on it. Thank you to everyone who wanted to stick around for the more in-depth look and the more detailed explanation of the nitty-gritty background details. Just like before, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Discord, Reddit, YouTube comments, social medias, the usual. If this is the sort of content that you enjoyed, please let me know. I'm kind of trying to figure out if people are actually interested in the nitty-gritty details of the actual code and the actual systems I'm trying to develop to make the game, right? So, yeah, thank you very much. Love you guys, and have a great day. Terry Clancy out.